All right, now that we've done our activity on decimals, we're going to move on to the next section where we learn how to solve it algebraically. So our essential question is how to solve absolute value equations when it is equal to a negative number. So this essential question doesn't relate to the whole thing, but if that was to arise, you should be able to answer that question. Okay, so the absolute value of x minus 4 is equal to 6. So we know that there's two solutions from our decimals. I think this one is actually one of the example in decimals that we did, but now we're going to learn how to solve for it algebraically. So let's go ahead and write out our steps. So the first step is to isolate the absolute value expression. Okay, so that's our first step. So we're going to go ahead and do that here. So looking at my absolute value expression, check it out. That's already isolated, right? There's nothing being added to that expression or being multiplied to that expression. So we are good. So now I have to set up my two cases. So set up two cases if the distance is positive. All right. All right, so we're going to have x minus 4 is equal to 6, so that's 6 units to the right, and we have x minus 4 is equal to negative 6. So when we solve for this, we're going to get x is equal to 10. And when we solve for this one, we get x is equal to negative 2. So the solution is at 10 and negative 2. Now, to make sense of this, you can see that I start with x and I'm going to add 4, and that's going to give you that hint there because you're looking at it because it's the absolute value. So think of it like adding 4 versus subtracting 4. So in this case, we can see that I'm just going to draw on this so you have the visual. So you can tell that the distance from the whole distance from here to here is a total of 12. But when you're looking at the midpoint right here, you can see that it started at 4. So you're actually having 6 here, 6 units to the left, and 6 units to the right. And it started at 4. So it relates back to the equation. X minus 4, but notice that that's subtracting 4, but here is a positive 4 on the graph. And here we have a positive 6, which means the distance to the right and the same distance to the left. So let's go ahead and finish. So we're going to solve and graph. Let's go ahead and check our solution. So we always want to check to make sure that's correct. So if I took this number and take 10, plug it in to here, that would give me absolute value 10 minus 4 equals 6. And that is true. 6 is equal to 6. If I plug in negative 2, that should also be equal to 6. And that's true. So I'm checking my solutions there.